Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by today. You know, I've been giving it some thought. I'm probably going to change the name of my channel from Kelly's Prepping Kitchen to something else. I'm kind of working on a title right now. I feel like with the channel name focused on prepping, then that kind of puts me in a box and doesn't allow me to show other aspects of my life. When I show what's in my pantry, I get thousands of views, likes, shares, comments. But when I do anything else having to do with anything in my life, whether it's gardening or restaurant reviews or just a day in the life or what we got going on around the house, it seems to trip up the algorithms or something. We just don't get as many views. So we're probably going to change our channel name at some point, and I'll keep you posted on what that name will be when we come up with it. I had to keep pausing the video because Hazel was over there doing that reverse cough. Are you okay, Hazy? Are you okay, baby? I am doing a decluttering journey. I'll try to put out little videos here and there as time allows. On this video, I'm just going to kind of focus mainly on my clothes and my closet. As you know, if you follow my community page, I like to put a little Bible message every time I do my Bible study. Stick around to the end for a Bible message. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book. It's called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, and it's by a lady named Margareta Magnusson. First, I was actually intrigued by that title, Swedish Death Cleaning. And it got me to thinking that this is actually something that I've been thinking about for about 10 years that I didn't even know existed. Before minimalism became a thing, I have been longing to declutter my home. I think so many times we make impulse purchases. We purchase items because we're trying to fill a void or get some temporary gratification, or we're trying to keep up with the latest trends and gadgets and, oh, you need this and you need that and 10 items you must have on Amazon and from Costco and all that. I mean, there's just an endless array of channels out there devoted to telling you all these things that you need to have in your life. I'm actually going to go back a little bit further, and I'm going to share kind of a personal backstory with you all. Before I moved to the Houston area, I had grown up in the Dallas area, and then I was going through a very, very bitter divorce from my husband at the time, and was trying to get to Houston to get my younger daughter that I had just given birth to near Texas Children's Hospital for a very rare disorder that she has that only 3 pediatric doctors in the state of Texas could deal with. I was trying to move here to get her closer to the hospital that could actually treat her from her illness, because when she was born, she slipped into a coma on her second day of life, and doctors took forever to figure out what was wrong. It felt like forever. It was a few days of running all these tests on her, and then we found out she had a rare genetic condition. One of the best doctors in the world was here. I was going through a divorce, and my then husband was trying to claim that I was trying to get the children away from him, and that wasn't true, and it was just a messy, ugly divorce. I had to enlist the help of a congresswoman who was able to step in and do a medical intervention and get the residency restricted lifted, so I could move to the Houston area and get my daughter, who was medically fragile, near the hospital that she needed to be close to. So the reason I'm telling you this story is because when I was given permission to move, I was advised by my attorney to move immediately, like within 48 hours, because we just didn't want any shenanigans with my ex and his team of lawyers pulling any kind of stunts where they were able to put a block on my ability to move or anything. So I was advised I needed to move right away. I ended up having to leave a bunch of stuff behind. A lot of family heirlooms, antique pieces. I also dealt with things being taken from the home when I filed for divorce, and my ex and his family would come back into the home while I was at work, and they would take things like the valuable baseball cards that I had saved for my children for when they grew up that were worth a lot of money, and just taking things here and there hoping that I wouldn't notice. And the point of me telling you this story is I had to leave a lot of stuff behind, and I had stuff taken from me. And I had to really start training my brain to not get attached to things. You know, we come into this world with nothing, we're gonna leave with nothing. So I was trying to get into the frame of mind of just look at it as it's things. You don't have to have these things, it's just stuff. Stuff can be replaced. So fast forward, I'm in Houston and we have Hurricane Harvey roll through and pretty much demolish most of my town. Fortunately, we were spared, but a lot of neighbors and people in the community lost everything. And that was tough to watch. It truly was. We tried to get in and help where we could, help people tear carpets out, tear walls out of their home, and rebuild from scratch. And we were literally giving clothes off of our back to help our loved ones, our neighbors, get back on their feet. At that time, I was thinking about how sad that was. People who lose everything to natural disasters, be it fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever, and how quickly we can just have everything taken from us in a moment. So that just really got me thinking how I need to stop being attached to things. I mean, they're just things. If it doesn't serve a purpose in my life, then I need to be willing to let it go. I don't need to hold on to clothes thinking, oh, one day maybe I'll be able to squeeze back into the stress. Things change. Where I'm going with this story is it's been heavy on my mind for a while. When my dad passed away a couple of years ago, I had to go to his home and it was just overwhelming. He was definitely a pack rat. He had a lot of stuff. I went around and tried to get the things that meant something to me or things that were of value, but we had to get strangers to come clean it out. It was just too emotional. I had too much going on. I had to plan his cremation and I just couldn't go through and clean his house. No fault of his. I mean, he was older, his health was declining, and he wasn't able to get around and do his own decluttering. It just got me thinking, I don't want to leave that burden on my children when my time comes. Every day is a gift that we're here on this earth, but it could be taken away from us at any moment. It's not at a certain age. I just don't want to put that burden on my children. So it got me thinking, I want to start downsizing now. My husband and I have been talking a long time about just selling our 3,300 square foot home and moving into an RV and just traveling the country, seeing where we want to live next. So in order to do that, we'd have to get rid of a lot of stuff. And I don't want to wait until I am too old or frail to be able to lift things and move things and get rid of things, and I just don't want to leave that burden on my children. So I heard about the Swedish death cleaning method, and I'm not one to hop on bandwagons of different trends. I know that can get frustrating, so I like to kind of just do my own thing. But I was intrigued by the concept, and it talks a lot about how we should start cleaning now while we're able-bodied. I'm not trying to say get rid of something that you truly enjoy. A lot of people have book collections, even though we live in an age of electronics where you can look up books online. If you've got a Kindle, you can read it that way, but people like the way books feel in their hands and turning the pages, and I completely get that and understand that. And if that's your thing, I say more power to you. For myself, I need to start making some decisions on what is most important to me. I found this sign. I actually have two of them. We used to cruise a lot. It's customary to decorate your cruise door so you can find your cabin easier, because when you're on a long aisle of hundreds and hundreds of cabins, it's easy to forget your room. People decorate their doors, and I made this sign, and it says, spending our kids' inheritance one cruise at a time. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I also have another similar yard sign that says spending our children's inheritance one campsite at a time when we go camping, and we put it up with our other flags in our yard. But it got me thinking, yeah, that's funny, it's cute and all, and kind of true, but more things that we buy that we don't really need, we're actually taking away from our children's nest egg. So, I mean, this just really resonated with me too. It's like, I think of all the impulse things that I buy. Every little thing I buy that I don't really need, every little kitchen gadget that I think I'm going to use so frequently that I don't use at all. And that's just me taking away from my kids. That's just kind of what got the ball rolling for me. So I wanted to take y'all on a journey with me as I try to declutter our home. Let's go, let's get started. Okay, so the very first step to decluttering is simple. No attachments whatsoever. I'm gonna go around my house and pick up pieces of trash and throw them away. I've got cough drop wrappers, empty toilet roll things just laying around, the containers. This is my lotion, completely empty. I've got this product from Lush. I love Lush, but do you ever buy something and it's so expensive you try to not use it all the time, and then before you know it, it goes bad? Because this has like all natural ingredients, so it doesn't last quite as long as things that have a lot of preservatives in it. So you can even see they've got like a little picture of who made the product. It's used by April of 2021. So you can see this started out as being purple, and now it's like this gross brown color. Things that just are expired that you think you're going to use again and you really aren't. Empty shampoo bottles. You know how when you say, oh, I'm just going to keep adding water so I can get a little bit more shampoo out of it, and then it gets to where you really can't get anything out. You store it upside down. It's time to let go. So, and things like candles that are so low you can't really burn them anymore. I have one of those candle warmers that I used to use. I don't know where it is, but rather than saving 20, almost empty candles around the house, I'm just going to go ahead and part ways. And then I've got toothbrushes laying around. We have such an abundance of toothbrushes if we ever need a new one. And I'll hang on to some that maybe fell on the floor, use them to scrape the bathtub or the sink, or if you just got too many of these laying around, just go ahead and get rid of them. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go around the house, look for trash, the easy peasy stuff. I hope you can hear me. We have the freeze dryer going right now, but I used to take so much pride in this room that I'm standing in right now. Rather than having a traditional family dining room with like one big table, I did a 50s theme diner in here. So I've got, you probably can't see it, I got a couple of booths and I've got like one of those little round tables and chairs right here, and then up, you can't really see this, but we got a little thing up against the wall, and all the 50s decor, if you can look around and see. Got Betty Boop, you got just all kinds of memorabilia from the 50s. But anyway, I am showing you this because this is kind of my off-camera, what I've been working on. This room has kind of become a holdover place for my things that we're going to put in the next yard sale. So I don't know about your community, but we're only allowed to have, it's either 1 or 2 a year. And the past couple of yard sales either got rained out, or we were camping the weekend that they allowed the yard sale to take place. So you either hop on board and have a yard sale when they allow you to, or you have to wait till the following year. So we've missed, like I said, we've missed the last 2 yard sales, and this pile of stuff is just growing. But this is just to kind of give you an idea of all the stuff I've been doing off camera. If y'all have seen any of our videos of our curbside treasures that we've collected, some we keep, some we turn around and resell or fix up. And so that's what some of this stuff is. We list it on Facebook Marketplace. Some things sell, some have not sold yet. So you just got to have the right buyer come along at the right time. But we've had to move our freeze dryer into this room. We used to keep it in the apartment, but it's not climate controlled over there. And then when it gets really, really hot, it does a number on the freeze dryer. It takes forever to get the stuff to dry completely. And then now we've got these bins that we're putting all our freeze-dried food in. So this room has just kind of become a hot mess. But anyway, that's just to show you kind of what I'm up against and why I'm starting to really get into decluttering and downsizing. So let me take you along, show you what we're going to work on next. Next, I'm going to go through my closet. I already have a small closet because this is an older home. I think this home was built, I don't know, maybe the 50s or 60s. I know that's not terribly old, but a lot of newer homes are built with bigger closets. This, our bathroom does have 2 closets, so Corey has the smaller one. This, believe it or not, is the bigger one. I have clothes that are in bins, depending on the season. In Texas, you don't really get harsh winters, so I do have a lot of sweaters that I love, but I'm going to have to go through and kind of declutter because I'm envisioning life if we move to an RV, which is kind of our game plan one day. I'm not going to have a lot of room. So I'm not going to be like a hardcore minimalist and just get rid of all but like 5 articles of clothing. I'm going to just kind of be conservative with my judgment, go through each piece and say, okay, do I need this sweater in 10 different colors? Is that really necessary? So I would like to just have everything in my closet without me having to put things away in bins and pull it out each season and, you know, vacuum, put it in one of those vacuum bags. That's just kind of like a hassle. I would just like to have all 4 seasons in this small space. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my bins. Right now I currently still have my summer, and I have a couple of long sleeve sweatshirts in case we do get some cooler weather or whatever, but for the most part it's just like my summer shirts and dresses and things like that. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Come along with me. As I'm going through my closet and going through these clothes, I'm realizing I'm one of those people, if I find a shirt or a sweater that I love, I buy it in multiple colors. Let me give you an example here. So if you have a Costco near you, anytime around the fall, winter season, they put out these sweaters by Orvis. If you go into an Orvis store, you're going to be paying like 5 times what they charge at Costco, but they're so soft and they're so versatile because they're very conservative, just solid color. You can wear them with jeans, you can wear them with leggings, and so I have one in every color that they put out. I've got the cream colored one, the pink or maroon, blue color. So that's what I'm working with right now. Now this is something I'm not going to budge on. I'm going to keep all of these. Number one, they're all 4 different colors, but I just love these sweaters. It's a good deal. I know these are going to last a really long time. So this would be an example of something where I'm saying this is what I'm going to keep. But let's go through my clothes and see what I'm going to get rid of. Walmart, if you go to a super center where they have a clothing section, where they keep their PJs, they are these really awesome soft sweatshirts. So I guess they're technically considered pajamas, pajama tops, but they're versatile. You can wear them as a sweatshirt out in public. I have 2 of them. I like to wear my sweatshirts a little bigger, and although this fits like okay, I guess, I like them bigger, so I have 2 of them. I'm gonna get rid of both because I think I have these in other colors that are a little bit larger. So this would be an example of something that I'm willing to part ways with. So these 2 tops are not identical, but they're kind of that rusty brown color. They're different styles. This one has some black around the sleeves. This one kind of gathers around the front like you tied a little knot. I've tried these both on. I've had this one longer. I'm ready to kind of part ways with this one. So I'm going to get rid of this one and keep this one. Okay, so I have a couple of different shades of gray. And I'll never forget when I was in my 20s working one of my first office jobs. And this gal that's just like brutally honest said to me, I don't know how to tell you this, but gray's just not your color. And I was like, I was so offended, but at the same time I was like, well, maybe she's just speaking the truth, something that nobody else would ever think to say to me. So yeah, ever since then I've kind of had a hang up about wearing gray. So this top that I tried on, this is kind of like a gray with some bluish undertones, I think. And then these two, one's a lighter, one's a darker. Two different brands. This is the same brand that the black one I just tried on. It came from the Walmart pajama department. I think I'm going to part ways with that one. And this is an Orvis top, so it's a little bit thicker, a little bit warmer. And so yeah, I think I'm going to keep this gray one, get rid of the other one. It really helps to try things on before you decide to keep them or get rid of them, because I tried this Orvis sweatshirt on and it just fit a little too snug for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and part with this one. These are some shirts I got off of Amazon. Just wasn't really loving the kind of boxy top. It was just kind of weird, so I'm gonna get rid of that. These three here, they're the same style. They're kind of meant to be a little slouchy and off the shoulder. And again, like I said, I have a problem with getting things in different colors when I like them. So, because I think I started out with one, kind of liked it, and then, I don't know, I washed it and it shrunk pretty bad. So it kind of sits in a really weird, like tight, off the shoulder, but kind of tight, and just looks really awkward. I just feel awkward in it. And you don't want to hang on to clothes with the idea of, oh, maybe one day this will fit a certain way, because, you know, you don't want to do anything or hang on to something that's going to make you feel bad if you don't reach a certain goal. You know, I've been guilty of that myself in the past, hanging on to bathing suits or dresses thinking, oh, it doesn't fit me now, but maybe next summer it'll fit me. You know, it's just like, if 5 summers go by and you're still not where you want to be, you don't want to make yourself feel bad or feel a certain way. Just go ahead and pass that along to someone else that can use it. These are all 4, I think, yeah, 4 are going in the pile to go to Goodwill or to be put in our next yard sale. Now, I'm as patriotic as the next guy. I love me some America, and I've got this really, really cute shawl. But the truth of the matter is, when can I really wear something like this? Maybe the 4th of July, maybe Memorial Day or something. But we don't go out and celebrate. Like, our kids are grown now. We don't go watch fireworks or go to pool parties or barbecues. We kind of just treat the 4th of July like any other day of the year. So I really don't see myself getting much use out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the to go away pile. Before the events of 2020, we had 3 cruises lined up. All 3 were canceled. I used to buy little dresses for formal night. Once again, same dress pattern in 2 different colors. Olivia really likes this one. I'll try to insert a picture of her wearing it. It looks really good on her. So I'm going to give this one to Olivia. I'm going to hang on to this one. Olivia would have loved to have worn this dress to Stevie Nicks' concert recently. This was another one of my cruise dresses. I will probably hang on to this. I am really, really weird about textures when it comes to material. If it's rubbing up against my skin, I don't want anything that's like crunchy, and that's what this top feels like. It's a somewhat new top. I just bought it recently. Fits fine, but I do not like this material up here. It's just not comfortable against my skin. So, too late to return it. I've already washed it, so I'm going to just go ahead and put this in the yard sale pile. It really does pay to get everything out of your closet. I know that sounds kind of tedious and extra, but it's really worth it to get it out, try it on, and just make sure you like it. So I'm going through my yellows right now. This, I think I showed you something else that has a tie in the front. I have plenty. I have like 5 shirts that have those little knots tied in, and every time you wash it, it gets a little more jacked up looking. So I'm going to go ahead and part ways with this yellow top, and I'm going to keep this one. I think the sleeves are cute, kind of pirate vibes. Another off the shoulder. I must have gone through some off the shoulder phase or something, but now it just makes me want to continually pull my shirt back up. You can't really wear a bra with it, or yeah, I guess you can wear a strapless, but I'm just not vibing. And being 50 years old, I say wear what you want, don't listen to what people tell you. But for me personally, I just don't feel like I should be wearing these off the shoulder tops. That's just my preference. So wear what makes you comfortable, but my off the shoulder tops, they gotta go. I have freed up quite a bit of space in my closet, and like I said, my goal is to be able to fit all 4 seasons into that small space. So now that I've gone through what was already in the closet, kind of spring summer stuff, I am going to go through my winter clothing in that bin right there, as well as these, what do you call it? Not vacuum seal. Yeah, I guess it's vacuum sealed bags. Those are all my winter clothes. I brought my coat rack in here from the entryway, and I'm just going to go through and decide what coats I want to keep, put them on this, and then put it back in the entryway. So it's like canned biscuit dough. Oh, I remember what these are. These are extremely thick wool pants. They're like sweats. I got these for Alaska when we were gonna go, I guess, into some caves, and that trip never happened, so I don't think here in Texas I'm gonna be having a need for these. Probably gonna keep this. It's just like wearing a fleece blanket. I love it. So these are a couple of fleeced vests. So if you want to layer this over a sweatshirt or something, and then throughout the day, if you're moving about and it gets kind of hot, you can take this off. So I've got this in brown and kind of a, I don't know, a reddish color. So I think I'm going to keep both of these. I'm going to allow myself to not feel guilty about keeping a couple things that are similar style, just different colors. These are also from the Walmart sleeping loungewear department, just a little bit thicker than what I showed you previously. These, again, they're like wearing a fleece blanket in the winter. These are just so cozy. This is so therapeutic to me to go through my fall clothes, because even though it's August, and technically in Texas we still have like another month of summer, but school is also starting for kids next week, so I'm kind of getting into that fall frame of mind. I'm just so excited to bring on the fall, get out my fall decorations. So it's really fun for me to go through these clothes and get out the sweaters and, you know, kind of the sweatshirts and hoodies. Fun to me. I know, I'm an oddball. I guess I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of my Snuggie blankets. If you've ever had one of those, they're basically like wearable blankets. It's like a jacket, a cross between like a real comfy jacket and a robe. I don't wear these. But with all the jackets and hoodies and all that I have, I'm just not going to wear them. So I've got that blue one and this pink one. I am just going to get rid of those. And I've got mixed emotions on this because I don't really wear robes either. When I get out of the shower, I dry off with a towel, I put my clothes on. This is a very plush, comfortable little robe, and I thought about, well, maybe I should hang on to it if I go visit family, I go stay at someone's house. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to part ways with this too. There we go. I like to hang on to a couple of cardigans. Actually, I'm only going to need one, but I need to narrow it down. I like to have a real thin jacket that I can just kind of wad up and put in my purse. So if I go somewhere and I go into a grocery store and it's really cold, or you go into a doctor's office, I just wanted to have a little cardigan that's thin that I don't have to worry about if I leave it behind or leave it in the car or something. So I am going to keep one and get rid of one. On the subject of robes, I'm going to talk once more about the pajamas at Walmart Supercenter. This is by the same brand the other things came from. It's called Secret Treasure. And these are like little robe jackets. They're fleece. They're very comfortable. So I have 4 different ones. Light pink one, a beige one, I guess, a gray one. I'm just going to keep this one. So I have everything that I want to keep as far as a coat or a jacket or a sweater on this coat rack here, and just give you a quick spin. We just have different styles like flannel if we go camping. These little popcorn material sweaters, this mustard yellow one, and then I have a green one somewhere that's like a light green. So this storage bin is full. I'm going to let my daughters go through and see if there's anything they want to pick out of this. Otherwise, it is going into the yard sale pile. Okay, so now I'm standing in my closet, and you probably can't tell by looking at it, but I have all 4 seasons put away. Nothing is in any storage bins or any vacuum seal bags, so I don't need to mess with rotating for each season. I've got my spring and my summer and then my fall and my winter. So that's a start. I'd still like to scale down a little bit, but I'm comfortable with the progress that I've made for today. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you stick around, because I am going to be doing a series where I go through my house every day. I'm going to just focus on a different area and just give you an idea of how you can slowly start decluttering as well. One of the things that I wanted to mention is when it comes to obviously getting your house in order, in the event that if something ever happened to you and you don't want the burden to fall on your children of having to go through your stuff. You also want to make sure you get your ducks in a row with your paperwork with regards to wills and what you have located in what part of the house. I was talking to this guy who told me that his uncle died, and he went, and he was kind of a hoarder, but him and a bunch of cousins went over and they were trying to go through and clean his house, and they were throwing trash away, and he had this coffee can that he was getting ready to throw away, and then he just decided to go ahead and open it. He opened it, and there was all kinds of $100 bills wadded up. So just think, if you were to hire someone like I did to go through my dad's stuff, who knows what they came across, but it is what it is. But that's just something to think about. That's kind of where my headspace is right now. Last year, I think I focused more on preparedness and getting my food, my water, and all my preps together for an emergency. Part of preparedness as well is preparing for when you leave this earth. What kind of burden are you going to leave to your family? So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm just going through this phase of life where I'm wanting to downsize a bit. I've mentioned before that one of my children has a medical condition, and in the chance that if something happens to me or her stepdad or her older sister, then we need to have a plan in place, because I've heard that if you've got a special needs child, and I need to look further into this, but you need to get like a medical power of attorney and all that, because if something happens to you and you're their guardian or caregiver, they could be turned over to the state. I don't want that to happen. So that's just giving you an example of what all I'm dealing with right now. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit monotonous, but I'm just bringing you along on the journey, showing you what I go through, and hopefully you can find some inspiration on what you can do to start getting your house in order. I thought I'd share with you a couple of verses from Bible study that I did tonight that I thought would tie this video together very nicely. And it's from the book of Colossians, chapter 3. So the first verse says, "Since then you have been raised with Christ, set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated to the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. So God blesses us in things in earthly ways too. Don't get me wrong. We are blessed with material possessions. That is true. If we have a house, if we have food, if we have air conditioning and heat when it's wintertime, those are things that we're blessed with. And we're not to be deprived of God's blessings. We're just not to just put all of our thought and focus on that, because when you focus on earthly things, then you're not focusing on what's above, and that is spending eternity with Jesus. A bed to sleep in at night. If we're only in this life temporarily, we should enjoy the blessings that we have, just as long as we're not obsessed with them. If we don't just put all of our focus on material things, because things will come and go. Our covenant is with spiritual blessings, not with physical earthly blessings. Our focus should always be on the blessings above. And I'm going to read to you a verse from Ephesians. I just pulled up on my TV so I don't have to keep flipping around in my Bible, but let me read this to you. Ephesians 1:3 says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us in Christ with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places." So again, our focus should always be on what's above, what's eternal, and not the things of this world that are just passing away. Matthew 6:19 through 21 says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heavenly places, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasures is, there your heart will be also." And then in 2 Corinthians 4:18 it says, "As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal." We only get one life here on this earth. Find out what your calling is and what Jesus has called you to do. Has he called you to to pray for people, be a prayer warrior, to be encouraging to other people, to lift them up or support them financially or physically, mowing a neighbor's yard? I just thought that this tied up the message that I was trying to convey about this video, which is just don't get attached on material things. Enjoy the things you have, but don't feel that you need to overconsume or just have an abundance of things. Don't let your things define your happiness. So I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye, guys.